In the UK, an 80-year-old man who had just won the lottery decided instead of, let's, buy a nice house, get a couple of cars, relax for the rest of your life, he decided to run a drug empire. Now this man, he is one of my favourite British people of all time, okay? He didn't win the lottery and, just sit back and relax. No, he's a man of action. He is a man of class. He is a man of fortitude. So this is what he did, right? He won the lottery back in 2010 when he was like 65. He decided, he got a few people involved. I think his son was involved. He got a few different people involved. He built a factory, right? A drug factory in his cottage that he bought with his winnings, of course. And diazepam, I don't even really know what that is, to be honest, but it's a drug that apparently puts you in prison. He built a factory for this diazepam, right, in his cottage that went unnoticed for, so what was that, 10 years, 15 years? Something like that. He got away with this for quite a while because he was an 80-year-old man with a drug factory in his house. Now, he wasn't just found with a drug factory, because obviously that would be enough. He was also found with lots of weapons. He had MAC-10s, AK-47s, Uzi, something called a Grand Pistol. I don't even know what that is. I've never even heard of that. This is great. Probably the funniest part about the whole thing for me is where he's from, okay? When I saw this headline like 2 weeks ago, 80-year-old man, jailed for drug gang, I had an internal thing that said, just click on it to see where he's from, because I thought, I bet he's from Wigan. Okay, Wigan is a place in the northeast of England, northwest of England, that basically this could only have ever happened to someone from there, right? It's not a particularly well-known place or anything, but as someone who lived there for quite a while, I just had a feeling. And sure enough, I clicked it, and where is John from? John is from Wigan. Here's a little video that just sort of explains it maybe a little bit better than I did.
Of a major counterfeit drugs operation that police say was capable of pumping out millions of fake prescription pills. The case focuses on John Eric Spivey, who won £2.4 million in 2010, then later used rural property in Greater Manchester as the base for what investigators described as an industrial-scale pill factory. According to the investigation, Spivey's setup began at a cottage near Wigan, where a lab was allegedly built out in stables opposite the home. Prosecutors said it wasn't some small-time operation either. Spivey reportedly talked about the business like it was a tech empire, even making comments comparing himself to billionaires and suggesting they should watch their backs. Police say the operation expanded into a second drug factory near Salford, involving Spivey's son and two other men, Callum Dorian and Lee Ryan Drury. Investigators allege the group produced and prepared huge quantities of counterfeit medication for distribution, supported by storage and logistics that made it look like a legitimate business chain rather than a street-level hustle. One key location was a shipping container on Chaddock Lane in Astley, which police said was rented by Drury and used to store materials and millions of counterfeit tablets before they went out. To keep the operation under the radar, police said Drury even created a fake company in August 2020, complete with a website, to make the purchase and movement of tablet-making equipment look normal: presses, mixers, packaging machines, the whole lot.
Another hilarious part about this for me is Wigan is not a very big place. It's a very small place, and I was there during when all this was happening. So I probably met these guys, which just makes me laugh. I think in the end he was found with something like $288 million worth or $300 million worth of pills on him, which is just funny, an 80-year-old man just lugging around 300 million in pills. That's great. Good on him. I like a guy who doesn't just rest on his laurels and just, retires and gives up. No. John is a man of true action and true responsibility. Kind of the worst thing for John has to be the fact he got caught before he died. 80, he must have been pushing it close to the edge. Right, he almost made it out there scot-free. That is the value of starting a drug empire in your mid-60s. It, you might die before you get caught. I mean, that maybe not the worst idea. Unfortunately, poor John probably won't make it, out to start another operation anytime soon because he was jailed for 16 years and, he is 80 and, so he's probably not going to make it out for a second run. But if anyone could do it, it would be John. However, I am curious of anyone watching this, where your Wigan is, wherever you live, where is the place where, this could only happen to someone from this place? For me, it's definitely Wigan. I mean, there's nowhere else in the entire UK that this guy could have been from. A true British legend, a true British hero. This man truly personifies all British legendariness.